Friends, in this video, I will show you some amazing experiments done with an iPhone. We all know iPhones are known for their premium build quality and durability, but have you ever wondered how they hold up against extreme conditions? From explosive reactions to fire and even free falls, today we are going to test the iPhone in ways you've never imagined. So, let's start the video while valuing your precious time. iPhone versus sodium metal. We all know how reactive sodium metal is when it comes in contact with water. Even a tiny piece of sodium can create a violent explosion. But have you ever thought about what would happen if an iPhone was placed on sodium metal and then dropped into water? To conduct this experiment, a sturdy bucket was used to contain the reaction. A piece of sodium metal was carefully placed on top of an iPhone 11, and then the setup was gently dropped into the water. Within seconds, a massive explosion occurred, sending water splashing everywhere. The force of the blast was so strong that it seemed like the iPhone had been blown to pieces. The sheer impact of the reaction made it look impossible for the phone to survive. But when it was checked, something unexpected happened. The iPhone was still intact. Surprisingly, there was not a single visible crack on the screen. The body remained completely undamaged, and upon pressing the power button, the iPhone turned on as if nothing had happened. This was truly shocking. Even though the explosion was intense, the iPhone's build quality allowed it to withstand the impact. But would it survive more extreme challenges? Let's find out in the next experiment. Dropping an iPhone from the tallest building. This experiment was conducted in California, where an iPhone was dropped from one of the tallest buildings in the state, which stands at an incredible 1,000 feet. That's about the height of a 100-story building. At such a height, even the thought of dropping an iPhone is nerve-wracking. The wind pressure alone could affect the fall, and the impact with the ground should be enough to shatter the phone into tiny pieces. But what actually happened? The iPhone was carefully taken to the rooftop. With cameras positioned below, the phone was released, and it began its terrifying descent. Watching it fall from such an immense height was breathtaking. It disappeared from sight within seconds, making it seem impossible to track. Once it hit the ground, the search for the iPhone began. After an extensive search, the device was finally found, lying amidst broken glass and debris. The results? The screen was completely shattered, and the back panel had cracked beyond repair. But the biggest shocker was that the phone still turned on and functioned normally. The touch screen worked, the cameras functioned, and the internal components remained unharmed. This truly proved the iPhone's durability. iPhone versus lava, the ultimate heat test. If lava can melt metal, what would it do to an iPhone? To conduct this experiment, lava was first prepared inside a special heat-resistant container. Once the lava was ready, a portion of it was taken and poured directly onto the iPhone's screen. The moment the lava touched the iPhone, the screen instantly blacked out. The heat was so intense that within seconds, small cracks began to form on the glass. But that was just the beginning. Within moments, a small explosion occurred as the phone's internal battery reacted to the extreme heat. The display completely detached from the body, and the back panel caught fire. Soon, the entire iPhone was engulfed in flames and reduced to nothing but ashes. Unlike previous experiments, this was the first test where the iPhone completely failed. The damage was irreversible, proving that while an iPhone can survive drops and explosions, it is no match for molten lava. iPhone versus firecrackers. For this test, firecrackers were placed all around the iPhone, creating a ring of fire. The idea was to see how much the phone could endure before becoming completely unusable. The firecrackers were ignited, and within seconds, a chain reaction of explosions began. Sparks flew everywhere, smoke filled the air, and a deafening series of bangs echoed through the area. Once the explosions stopped, the iPhone was retrieved from the burnt remains. It was completely covered in black soot and felt extremely hot to the touch. At first glance, it seemed like the phone wouldn't turn on, but after wiping off the soot and allowing it to cool down, something unexpected happened. The iPhone turned on and worked perfectly. The only issue was a temporary overheating warning, but aside from that, it functioned just like before. This was another surprising result that proved how well the iPhone can endure extreme conditions. iPhone versus car. For this experiment, not just one, but 4 iPhone 12 Pro models were lined up on the ground. To test their durability, a car was driven over them. The car slowly rolled over the phones, applying tremendous pressure. The result, all 4 iPhones shattered instantly. Unlike the previous tests, the iPhones had no chance of survival here. The screens were destroyed, the metal bodies bent, and the devices became completely unusable. This test proved that while iPhones can withstand extreme heat and falls, they cannot handle the direct pressure of a car's weight. Dropping an iPhone into a glory hole. A glory hole is a massive drain used in dams and reservoirs to control excess water flow. It creates a powerful vortex, pulling in anything that gets too close. For this experiment, an iPhone was tied to a drone and flown directly above a glory hole before being released into the swirling water below. As the iPhone disappeared into the vortex, it was impossible to retrieve immediately. But when it was later found, the damage was surprising. Instead of being completely destroyed, the iPhone only had a cracked screen and a few scratches. It even turned on and worked, proving once again that Apple's engineering is truly impressive. Throughout all these experiments, the iPhone showed remarkable durability. While it survived drops, explosions, and even water, it failed against lava and heavy pressure. This proves that while the iPhone is incredibly strong, it is not completely indestructible. But compared to many other smartphones, it is one of the toughest devices out there. So, what do you think? Which experiment shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing experiments. Thanks for watching.